My name is Phil Brown, and I am the owner of Miss Brown's Fine Foods 2, authentic Jamaican restaurant here in Appleton.
Where did your love for cooking start?
I would say 7 years ago or so, I was working a corporate job and then kind of wanted to get out of that and realized how good my mom's cooking was. So then I guess I kind of took a liking to it more and thought about, maybe we can open our own restaurant. So yeah, that's kind of where I learned and got a passion for cooking. My mom, she grew up in the kitchen when she was a little girl, so never too late to start something you love, I guess.
That
Yeah.
is true. What's your background? What's your background and what's your mother's background after that?
Sure. I'll start with my mom and I'll do the best that I can, I guess, on her behalf. But we were born in Jamaica. My grandmother, her mom, had a restaurant. So my mom essentially grew up in the kitchen. So yeah, she's been cooking probably for as long as she could remember, at least 40 plus years, So she's been cooking all of her life. But fast forward a little bit, when I was about 4 years old, we transitioned from Jamaica to the United States. So then that, our lives completely changed, I guess. So yeah, but she's always kind of worked in the sanitation field, and she's just always been a hard worker. I don't think she ever thought that she would ever cook for a living, but I know that she's grateful to be doing that. So that's also a blessing, and we get to work with each other every day, so that's kind of cool. I guess a little bit about my background then. We moved here when I was about 4 years old, so I was essentially raised in Wisconsin and went to school here my whole life, graduated college, moved back to the area, and I just worked a couple different corporate jobs in different fields. I worked retail management for a little while. I worked at a car dealership for a few years. I was a basketball coach. I worked for a moving company, a logistics company. So I kind of had my hand in a bunch of different pots. But yeah, like I said, I was just kind of done working for someone else, and I wanted to do something for myself and my family. I am very blessed that we had the opportunity to open up a food cart. So just essentially looks like a hot dog stand. So we opened that up in 2016, and then a couple of years later, opened up our brick and mortar here. So yeah, it's been kind of a roller coaster, I guess, but it's been kind of a fun ride so far. The biggest struggle is being patient for success, which is so funny because I'm typically a very patient person, but I know where I came from, and I know timing is things don't happen overnight, but they'll happen if you work hard enough. So I guess it's just a matter of just continuing to just stay steady and work, and eventually it will happen, but it's not going to happen before it's supposed to happen, kind of thing. So yeah, that's probably my biggest struggle.
What brings you the most happiness right now?
I would say my son brings me the most happiness. I was talking to a couple other dads, and I just kind of, was saying that nothing that I've done in my life brings me as much joy as he does. The things I thought were important when I was in my early 20s or late teens, aren't. And yeah, just seeing him, even when he's throwing his fits, it's that's my kid. No matter how tiring it is, which it's very tiring, but it's everybody goes through it. So, but it's definitely a blessing, and he brings me the most joy out of anything in my life. I literally see myself, a lot of the things he does, a lot of physical things. He's very young now, where it's mostly I'm just seeing the physical stuff, and then when I look back at my baby pictures and how I crouch down or something, I'm that's me. That's so cool. It's
where would you say you would like to see yourself in the next couple of years?
Oh man. Well, first and foremost, I want just to be healthy. I mean, that's just thank the Most High for that. So I just want to be healthy, my family to be healthy. Business, it's funny that you asked that question, because I've been kind of thinking, what's next? What are we going to do? Maybe venture into the bar scene a little bit, but still keep the restaurant, just kind of, transform it a little bit. I mean, we already kind of did the food cart thing, and we had a truck for a little bit. So, I really want to find a way where I could free up more of my time hiring people, finding some other people to maybe operate the business, so I can be home with my family more. And so my mom can get more of a break too, because she's been doing her whole life. Yeah, she's been doing it her whole life. She's a little older than me, so she probably gets fatigued more than I do. Yeah, so I mean, just kind of transforming the business a little bit and seeing how I can just kind of like simplify the process even more than it's already simplified. So
if you can give advice to your younger self, or if you could give advice to someone growing up in the same position like you, what would you say?
Man, that is a really good question. You got good questions. Well, I'm going to give advice to my younger self, and there's probably not enough time. So what I would tell my son or my younger self is just be true to who you are. Don't try to do things to fit in with the crowd. It's okay to be a loner. It's okay to have your own ideas, even if people think they're stupid. I think that no matter what, you should chase your dreams, no matter if people think you're crazy or you can't do that. Yeah, and I just, be a good person. I'm not saying that I wasn't a good person or I'm not a good person, but these are things I think, especially the younger generation, need to know, that you don't need to jeopardize who you are to fit in with a group of people, to be cool. A lot of people who are quote unquote successful, whatever that looks like to people, they usually don't follow the crowd, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, just be true to who you are and do what you do, and your family will always love you no matter what. If you fall on your face, they'll still love you, they'll pick you up. So,
and then to end it off, if you could do it all over again, what would you go for?
If I could do it all over again, and I'm talking from a very early age, start earlier of learning more of finances, things like that, even earlier than high school, even maybe in middle school, just learning about money. We spend all this money on things that essentially don't matter, like a Gucci bag, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, why are we spending all this money on a Gucci bag? It's funny because the older I get, the more I realize that the people who have the most money in the bank, and I'm not saying money is what all that matters, but you need to be able to pay your bills, you need to be able to take care of your family, and money can do that for you. It gives you choice. The people that have the most money in the bank, you would never guess by looking at them, right? They got what people are oh, you got, what are those shoes? You know what I'm saying?
He's got the Phill 3s.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But
4s.
Who cares what you're wearing?
Yeah,
and you know what I'm saying? I don't care if you got a Gucci bag. I don't care if you got the freshest J's. You know what I'm saying? That at the end of the day, that stuff does not matter. So yes, I would, if I were to do it all over again, I would start learning about finances earlier. Teach my friends, teach my family, investing, you want your money to work for you. You don't want to have to, if we don't come here, it's great to own your own business, I'm not saying, but there's levels to it, right? If we don't come here and cook food and sell food, we're not going to make money. Yeah, the money's it's not going to come in. But, if we have things that, can make us money while we're sleeping, if we're, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not super difficult to pick up on. Yeah, I'm saying I wanted to start it when I was 12. I'm 33 now, and I could essentially master and be a really good financial person in the next 24 months. You know what I'm saying?
And 20 something.
Yeah,
if you would have did it
absolutely. So depending on how much work you want to put in and how fast you want to do something.
You can keep talking though. We can end this too.